Race 5 at Ascot jumps at 3:35. It's the C Corp handicap over 1,400 metres, and we'll have a look at the most recent trial of the 3 Megadon.
Those runners there next. Over on the inside is Tommy as they come into the straight now. That is Thunder Boom. Towards the tail is Lucky Raw, and it's back there with State Attorney. Into the straight though with 2:50 to go. On the outside, City Chance in front. Megadon's underneath it. Kicking back through now is Emiliago. These three fight it out. Nothing coming on from the back. Fighting back through Megadon. Drew Clear pulls away. Megadon wins. Second there was City.
Megadon has returned with 2 good trials so far, the first of which was 1.8 lengths behind the Smart Free Trade, and the second of which was a high-speed event that we've already seen today on the box seat. Managed to hold off City Chant by over a length. I think all things considered from gate 2, Willie Pike on board, it should be settling just behind the speed. If there is no speed, it could certainly take up the running here, but it certainly looks like the horse has returned in close to its career best, and if that's the case, it should be pretty difficult to beat in this event. It goes on top from the 1 Stoicism. It just has an awkward gait from 10. I was pretty keen on this horse first up, and it just got shuffled back through the field a little bit and was just a little bit flat towards the line. I think it should be able to get itself into a position where it can build a bit more momentum in this start, just a case of whether or not it is too far back in the run. Third pick is the 10, which is Scarlet Speedster. It's possibly going to be a bit of a roughie. It was a strain back through the field in that most recent start. From gate 4, it can probably sit a little bit handier, but it did run a big last 400 and last 200, and certainly the step up in distance looks ideal. And then the 4th pick is the 7, Lucky Linda Lulu, who again, you could probably say the same sort of comment as for Scarlet Speedster. It was really attacking the line well. Big last 400, big last 200. Probably the smallest query from gate 1. It will need a bit of galloping room as the horse doesn't have a great jump from the gate, but if it can get its way through traffic, it will be flashing late. In race 5, the 3 goes on top, which is Megadon from 1 Stoicism, 10 Scarlet Speedster and 7 Lucky Linda Lulu. Race 6 at Ascot jumps at 4:15. It's the Schweppes handicap over 1,200 metres, and we'll have a look at the most recent performance of Gisato at Ascot.
Ninth hour to the outside, commencing its run there, homeward bound down to the 250 to Rise Again. It shook off Time to Trade, Pago Bay. Don't like the 9th hour at the moment, flat to the floorboards. Gisato starting to come. It's to Rise Again in front from Gisato. Ribbon of Gold is getting out of the ground. To Rise Again, clinging on though to Rise Again. Gee, it's been a
Gisato followed up a good trial with a good performance there, first up over the 1,000 metres behind To Rise Again, who has subsequently come out and won on Saturday. So I think from gate 2, Gisato will probably just sit behind the speed. I think it should be saved up for a little bit of a run just late in the piece. We saw it was good going through the line there. The step up to 1,200 looks ideal, despite the fact that all of its best runs so far have been at 1,000. But the horse did also return with a career best performance there first up, so I'm pretty keen to follow it at this start. The second pick is the 3 State Attorney, who's been running good figures overall. It just hasn't been winning any of those races in which it's been running good figures. It's coming from that high-speed trial that we've seen a few times here today on the box seat. It was restrained back through the field. It was really doing its best work on the line. So if it can get itself into a nice position from gate 5, you'd imagine it would be strong once again. Third pick is the 5, which is Gates of Babylon. It was ridden intent the last couple of starts to lead. It was a slow pace last start, so I'm not sure if stepping back to 1,200 metres will suit the horse. It may not be able to find the front as easily, but if it can, it does have claims. And then the 4th pick is the 7 Trilly Philly, who is a horse that trialled well. It was shuffled back, it found the line, but it was never really clear. So I thought it was a nice quiet trial. And if we go back to last preparation, some of those figures it was running would certainly be good enough for this race. 1 on top, Gisato in race 6 from 3 State Attorney, 5 Gates of Babylon and 7 Trilly Philly. That brings us to the last race, race 7, jumping at 4:55. It's the Crown Perth handicap over 1,800 metres, and we'll have a look at the most recent start of Discoville at Ascot.
Followed on the rails by Yeah Bravo, Superior Smile, tackled by Ping Me Another. 2 lengths, Universal May starting to work into the clear from Lennon's Song. It's Superior Smile and Ping Me Another with 100 left to go. Superior Smile digs in, Ping Me Another and Universal Smile, they hit it together. It's close.
Discoville jumped well from gate 2 last start, but there was no real intent early and the horse got shuffled back to 3 back the fence. It then got further shuffled back behind a tiring runner, ended up near last on the turn and was doing its best work threading through the field with about 200 to go. It was a strong final performance there behind Superior Smile. And I think all things considered in this event from gate 1, there's not too much speed, so it should be able to settle just behind the leader. And if that's the case, it's been running in stronger races than this, and it should be pretty strong through the line, hopefully at each way value. Second pick for me is the 5 Universal May. It does look to map particularly well from gate 3. It's been running pretty consistently in this sort of grade, and again, if it can land in that good spot and use a turn of foot, it's probably the main challenger to Discoville late. Third pick is the 1 Press the Pedal. It gets blinkers on in this event. It's been running very consistently. It is probably in the twilight of its career, but all things considered, she does seem to map well once again, and she can possibly run a cheeky race. And then the 4th pick is the 7, Kendall's Me Dad. It seems to land in a good spot from this event. It's been settling just forward of midfield. It's coming from a strong maiden win, but as we do know, maidens often struggle to complete the next step and going up into harder company. But the horse has been very consistent so far this preparation. 4 on top in the last, Discoville from 5 Universal May, 1 Press the Pedal and 7 Kendall's Me Dad. Best bets at Ascot, race 4, number 11, Run for Money, and race 7, number 4, Discoville. That's all for us here at Perth Racing. If you'd like to keep up to date with us, please keep in touch via our website or on social media. Until next time, I'm Pete Anthonus, good punting and go well.